2 videos in 2 days, folks. It's a new record for you, boy. Not really, but I'm on top of it at least. Kansas State basketball reaching out to a big-name prospect in the transfer portal. Want to give you the background on that player as we've kind of continued to jump in headfirst into transfer portal content. The portal still hasn't officially opened. Won't open until Monday. But regardless, there's a lot of people leaking to their agents saying, yeah, I'm out, forget this. And basically saying, hey, once the portal's officially opened, I'm out of here. That's the way we're at with college basketball right now. That's the players we're talking about. And in today's video, there's a big one to discuss. You'll see it in the thumbnail. If you recognize the player, you'll know who I'm talking about. If not, please enjoy the video. I'm going to show a lot of highlights and talk about some background here. Also, thank you for all the support on these videos, man. It's really fun to make, and I'm excited to wake up and see if Kansas State's linked to this person or theorize here. It always brings a smile to my face. It's the best time of year for college sports fans. See what's next to come. That's the way it goes right now. But let me jump in right away and say this. South Dakota guard Chase Forte is one of the biggest names in the transfer portal right now. Obviously, it's, still got a lot to come, still a lot of time left to talk about the portal, but Chase Forte is a big dog, a big-time player to talk about in today's video. Kansas State has officially reached out to the kid. The last 2 videos I've had, it's been more theorizing, hey, these kids have local Kansas State ties. This is one that we've got tangible evidence, at least in terms of what the tweet read, saying, okay, Kansas State's one of the teams that have contacted Chase Forte. Let me give you some background, and I'll toss up some highlights here as I talk about this absolute beast. Chase Forte is a stud, man. Both ends of the court, two-way player, incredible basketball player. Let me read you some of this. Last season at South Dakota, averaged 17.9 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, and 3.2 assists per game on 47.1% shooting from the field. He shot 32.1% from 3, and I know that's concerning, but let me tell you why it's not here in a minute. And in his last 5 games, averaged 25.8 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per contests. He has a high usage rate at 33.7%. The dude has been a key factor for South Dakota this season. And while you might think, okay, the kid's averaging 18 points per game, he's a top 5 scorer in the Summit League, you'd sit there and say, okay, this kid's a stud on offense. This is his, he's in his bag this season. Folks, that's not even the best aspect of his game. The dude is an absolute hound on defense. He won Summit League Defensive Player of the Year this season and has been a dominant force on the defensive end of the court. That translates over to the offensive success, but the kid is really a truly super talented all-around type player. You can see in this clip, he shoots effectively right around the rim, which a lot of guards struggle to do. I know that that's something that I'm not running from, but the kid stands 6'4", 190 pounds. Last season, obviously, like I said, was the Summit League Defensive Player of the Year. He was all-league first team. He shot 56% around the rim. Like I said, that's pretty impressive for a guard. Obviously, 6'4" is no slouch. It's not a small dude by any means, but it's still a really good conversion rate to be an efficient scorer. As I talk about him throughout this video, and you'll see it in the highlight package, he's on the 75th percentile in all of college basketball at ball screen scoring, so being the primary ball handler in a ball screen, 75th percentile. He's 88th percentile in ISO scoring, so in isolation, the kid's going to cook you. Watch your ankles, watch your back. You don't know what the heck's going to happen. This kid's going to break you down. For those that are a little bit more in-depth and want the O rating stuff, had an offensive rating this past season of 107.1, and like I said, the dude's a defensive monster. Like, that's his forte. Conveniently, Chase Forte. No pun intended there, but I apologize if you rolled your eyes at that. But to put it simply, the kid's a bucket. He's a damn good basketball player. Super quick break. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, 63% of the people watching this video right now are currently not subscribed to the YouTube channel, and feel free absolutely to ignore this and skip this, whatever the case is. But those of you that are watching right now and are unsubscribed, be sure and consider hitting that subscribe button if you love Kansas State, if you appreciate the channel. It's a great way to support me as I continue to grow on this journey, and it's also incredible to bring more K-State fans in like yourself on a consistent basis to see more of my K-State content. Once again, if you're in that 63% or if you're in the alternative in the 37%, I love and appreciate you. Back to the Cats. This season, he's heard from a couple people already these are the ones that have been documented in the tweet. I'm sure there's more beneath the surface. These are the ones that were mentioned. He's heard from USC, Baylor, Wichita State, Kansas State, shout out the Cats, Georgia, Arizona State, Miami, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Boston College. Now, when you look through that list, obviously Baylor sticks out. A couple other teams stick out. The 2 teams that my brain would say, okay, these are going to be threats in the recruitment would be Baylor, obviously, and then also Ole Miss. Not because there's some incredible, massive program, and I don't know if Chris Beard's even going to be there next year. I think he might accept a new job somewhere else. They're just a dominant force. They have a lot of NIL resources. They have some stuff there, but Chase Forte being one that could come to Kansas State and be an instant starter. I'm not going to lie about that. The last couple of videos we've had questions of, will this kid be a starter? Will he be coming off the bench? Would he be kind of this? Could it kind of be that? A lot of people have talked about it. Kansas State probably needs to find 4 different players this season to start. Like I've said in previous videos, I think one of those will be a European League player. So I'm not expecting that we have 4 brand new starters from the transfer portal, but I do think we'll add a talented EuroLeague kid. That being said, you still need to find 3 other starters. So what that tells you is this. You find an immediate day one starter that's going to be an absolute hound on the defensive end of the ball to complement a guy like Doug McDaniel, who, like we said, has increased his defensive ability. He's reliable in that sense. Like, he's not a minus player the same way he was at Michigan. That being said, he still hasn't, he's not a perfect defensive player. He still gets taken advantage of size-wise. He still gets out of position. A dude like Chase Forte, when the other team looks out there and says, okay, ISO time, we're going to break down somebody. Toss Chase Forte out there. He's not going to break you down. It's kind of the same cloth that Cam Carter's cut from, where it's that horizontal movement where it's like, the dude is so damn quick. Like, you will not beat him to the spot, no matter what spot it is. Like, Chase Forte in this highlight package you're seeing, or you have seen already at this point, he's got a ton of different plays where he just gets tips and runouts, and like there'll be quick ball screens. Somehow he's got his hands on the ball, or he's got, someone locked up here and you can't do anything about it. You force a turnover. Other way, transition bucket. The kid excels with what he excels at and then puts it towards other parts of his game. Defensively, that's where he wants to make his bread and butter. Now, will I sit here and say he's going to average 18 points a game at Kansas State? Likely not, but the kid has shown an ability to improve every single season, and I do think at Kansas State he'd have some pretty good efficient splits alongside a guy like Doug McDaniel that could use a big-bodied defensive-centric dude in the backcourt that you can say, okay, shot clock's running down. Anybody but the 5, this dude's going to lock you up. This is going to be our best player, our best on-ball defender, best off-ball defender. You are going to be the guy we want to take the defensive possession, to take, guard the last shot. That's what we want. And Chase Forte's made a living out of it already. So prior to South Dakota, not South Dakota State. Prior to South Dakota, he played at a couple different teams and kind of got an unorthodox way to get to college basketball. This past season before South Dakota, he was at Northwestern State. That's the Demons. I don't think I've seen that logo in my life, but he averaged 9.8 points per game. 4.3 rebounds per game, was still an efficient player, efficient defender. Hardly played at all at UNC Asheville, hit the portal, jumps to Northwestern State, becomes a player that South Dakota wanted to take a shot at. And now after that season, everybody wants to take a shot at him. Division I basketball is ready for this kid. And even before that, he put out a tweet, and I got to go find it. I wasn't prepared for this part, but I think it's something interesting to mention. Chase Forte, because a lot of people are talking about this kid and everything. His tweet popped up. When you look at his name on social media, there's a lot of people saying, hey, this kid's the Summit League Defensive Player of the Year. He's so damn good. He's got this, and, how do we not find him? He put out a tweet and said this. I had to go through being a walk-on and a JUCO product to get here. It definitely didn't happen overnight, but God had a plan for me and I trusted him. God's timing is so perfect even when we might not realize it in the moment. Thank you, God. It's cool because he goes as a JUCO product, walk-on kid, then continues to develop every single season and continues to punch up in his weight class. Like, the dude continues to show, okay, I'm ready for something bigger. You get to Kansas State, you get to this next thing. I wouldn't be shocked if the kid finds something bigger in terms of the NBA future, because he is absolutely a stud. And I know a lot of teams don't like. In the NBA, you're not guided to be a defensive-minded team, but obviously there's a time and place for everybody that can rebound, defend, and this dude can score as well. You don't have to just have it be, okay, defense, this is our guy. Kind of that, Jared Vanderbilt type dude where it's like, he's not going to give us much on offense, but defense, he's going to work his tail off. This dude can do it all, and that's the beauty of what you're seeing. So guys, someone to watch for in the transfer portal, that is Chase Forte. Like I said, a big-time player. Can Kansas State get the job done? We'll see what happens in the next steps, but I wanted to keep you updated on this front. And guys, like I said, there's going to be videos just about any time Kansas State is mentioned. You can expect to see a video. The timing may be a little random because it depends when I see the tweet or when I see the notification. But for now, Kansas State working towards Chase Forte, a talented guard from South Dakota. That'll do it, and I'll talk to you guys here soon. Go Cats!